We had, I think, good phone call. It was normal. We spoke about many things, and so I think, and you read it, that nobody pushed me.
That was Ukraine's president speaking last month. He was referring to his July 25th call with President Trump, where he denied being pressured to launch investigations. But according to the Associated Press, the Ukrainian leader raised concerns more than 2 months before that call and met with his top advisors to discuss how to handle pressure from President Trump. Michael Biesecker is a national investigative reporter for the Associated Press and one of the reporters who worked on this story. He joins me now from Washington. Welcome, Michael. Thank you for joining us. So what details were you able to learn about this May 7th meeting?
Essentially that President Zelensky, he actually wasn't president yet. This was a couple of weeks before his inauguration on May 7th. He gathered a small group in Kiev of advisors, and the meeting was ostensibly supposed to be about securing the nation's energy supplies, but more than half of the 3-hour discussion was taken up by discussing the pressure that the incoming Ukrainian president felt from President Trump and his personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, about whether to investigate Democrats. And he raised that issue with the advisors, sought their advice, said he was worried about getting pulled into an American domestic election and whether he was being used as a pawn.
So presumably someone from the White House then, if all of this is accurate, had reached out to him previously.
Well, we know that President Trump called him on the night of his election, which was April 21st, Easter Sunday in the United States. And President Trump called him ostensibly to congratulate him on his election. The White House issued a very bare bones readout of that call. And in it, they do mention that President Trump raised the issue of corruption with the incoming President Zelensky. Now, we know that in the intervening months, the word corruption has become a shorthand for the president and his proxies when referring to the push to investigate former Vice President Joe Biden and his son Hunter, as well as the alleged conspiracy theory that Ukraine meddled in the 2016 election rather than Russia.
And there's no chance the White House will release a readout of that first phone call, is there?
Well, President Trump said he would release a transcript of it. We asked yesterday when or if that might happen. The White House has not responded yet. It's also important to note that in the 24 hours since our story ran, raising whether Trump raised investigations in this April 21st call, the White House has still not commented. They've not denied it.
Very interesting. So explain, for those who are not as familiar with the ins and outs of all of this, why is it so significant that it appears the Ukrainian president felt pressure to investigate the Bidens 2 months before the now infamous phone call?
It would show that the effort to lean on the incoming Ukrainian administration happened even before President Zelensky was inaugurated, essentially that this was a much more coordinated effort, that it started earlier, and that potentially President Trump himself raised these issues with the Ukrainian president not once, but twice. And that earlier call would make a second time. We know, obviously, about the July 25th call, of which the White House has issued a partial transcript. President Trump has said that that call was perfect and he in no way pressured the Ukrainian president. But most people who've read that transcript do perceive that he was leaning on him to investigate the Democrats. And this comes as Ambassador Taylor testified earlier this week that there was a effort to present a quid pro quo, that in order to get U.S. military aid, that the Ukrainians needed to investigate the Bidens.
Right. Now, of course, the Ukrainian president is in a very difficult situation here. Has Zelensky's office responded to your reporting at all?
They also did not respond.
Not surprising, perhaps. All right. Well, Michael Biesecker, thank you so much for sharing your incredible reporting with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me again.
And turning now